Welcome to the Business Wisdom Podcast, where business strategist Clive Enever shares his inner business wisdom with you. Each episode is packed with his experience to help you grow and develop your own business wisdom. Join Clive as he shares his wisdom with you.
Long been proven that setting goals helps you achieve more. And there's lots to talk about in relation to that, but one of the things that stops people setting goals, that I've noticed at least, is having a clear path. And when people don't have a clear path, it's really, really difficult to set a goal. And that's largely because if you haven't got a clear path, you don't know that you can actually achieve goals. So getting that path clear is really, really important. And of course, many people think that, okay, they look ahead and all they can see is litter and rubble all over the place. There's no way that you can go out and actually achieve anything. Now, it's a relatively simple thing to actually clear that path. Often we look at it and we think, okay, there's lots of rubble and litter out there, we've got to go and pick it up and get rid of it. And in some cases you do. However, you're actually a lot better off if you can eliminate the need for clearing up the rubble. That is, not have it there in the first place. Now, how do you do that? Okay, there's a few things we've got to look at. And if we look to the general talk about what one needs to do in business, we've got to have presence in our marketplaces, lots of things that people will tell you, of course, and often it includes presence in your marketplace, presentation, personal space, procedures and process, pricing, profitability. Those are things that I see coming up frequently as things that we all need to know. And, okay, we understand that we need those things. How do we get them? And often when we look at these things, particularly if we haven't been schooled in the right way of achieving these things, it's all very difficult. And it's very difficult for many of us. And that's borne out in the figures, because at the end of the day, the figures tell you all the answers as long as we can interpret the figures accurately. And the figures tell us from the ABS that over 60% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. Now, if that's the case, it means that there are a few simple things that haven't been organised before the business started. And jumping into all of that rubble and litter that I talked about on the pathway means that it's not going to be easy for you. So how do we find the things that might help? We want to have clear thinking. We want to have goals and objectives. We want to understand how to achieve those goals and objectives. Part of how we can do that is to set KPIs, key performance indicators. Now, key performance indicators, I hear people talk about them all the time and how they don't work and they're too confusing. And if they're too confusing, they won't work. And if they're too confusing, it means that they're counting the wrong information. So with key performance indicators, we want to count the information which will tell us what it is that we need to do in our business to satisfy our customers, because if we satisfy our customers, we actually make a profit in our business and everything runs smoothly. But once we've got ourselves started, we want to be able to stay on track to gain the results that we want as individuals, to eliminate distractions, all of those things. We want to tidy up. We want time management strategies. And already this is sounding like a huge amount of information that we have to deal with. And I could go on with a whole bunch more. But essentially, what do we want in a business? In my view, the first thing we want a business to give us is a life. And as part of that life, we want to be more content and we want to have more time to enjoy with our family and whatever else it is we do with our leisure time. For some of us, of course, we want to create exceptional results. And ideally, again, in my world, that means achieving more with less. So the thing that I've discovered through the years, and especially with helping people strategize how their business is going to run and understand what it is that makes their business work, the thing that they come back and tell me is that they've got more time, but they're doing more work, that they're dealing with less people, but they have more clients. So lots of contradictions just in that. And yet it happens. And as a result of that, they're making more money, but they don't have the stress. More contradictions. So how do you do it? Ideally, know how to identify your ideal client, not some generic thing specifically for your business. What does that mean? It means you talk to less people, but you have more clients probably. It's generally the way it works. Because you understand how to identify your ideal client, you're not trying to sell to people who aren't your ideal client. And when you do that, you do have more time, far more time. And you generally have far more clients. Most importantly, you have clients who enjoy working with you, who want to work with you. As a result of that, you have satisfied customers. And in having satisfied customers, they tell stories about how wonderful you are. And I think that's ideal in a business. Go out and have an absolutely great week. There is a clear path for you, for each of you. There is a clear path for you to run your business. It doesn't need to be full of trouble and strife.
Thanks for joining Clive. Remember to subscribe for more business wisdom. Want to work with Clive? Book a discovery call with him at innovagroup.com.au.